Good evening and welcome to the Daily Voice presented by VNN, bringing you today's top 5 Canadian news stories on March 20th, 2025. Let's get started. Canada has fallen to 18th place in the 2025 World Happiness Report, continuing a downward trend from 15th in 2023 and a sharp decline from 5th place just over a decade ago. The report, based on surveys from 147 countries, highlights growing pessimism, increasing loneliness, and declining trust in society as key reasons for the drop. While Canada remains the happiest country in the G7, experts say social bonds are weakening. Young adults report record high levels of isolation. And even though studies show acts of kindness remain common, public perception suggests otherwise. With a federal election on the horizon, the latest polling shows a tightening race between the Conservatives and Liberals, with Pierre Poilievre's party holding just a 1-point lead over Mark Carney's Liberals. Poilievre was once on track for a majority, but recent gains in Atlantic Canada, Ontario, and British Columbia have shifted the numbers. The Bloc Québécois is also gaining in Quebec, while the NDP has seen a sharp decline. One major factor? The Trump effect. US President Donald Trump's tariffs and aggressive rhetoric on Canada are shaping the election, as both Carney and Poilievre attempt to position themselves as the strongest leader to handle relations with Washington. As Canada navigates escalating trade tensions with the US, a major debate is emerging. Should the federal government lift its 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles? Economists argue that doing so could make EVs more affordable for Canadians and even serve as a countermeasure against Trump's trade war. But automakers warn that removing tariffs could flood the market with low-cost Chinese vehicles, undercutting Canada's growing domestic EV industry. With China producing nearly 80% of global EV supply, some fear that lifting the tariffs could wipe out Canada's multi-billion-dollar EV investments before they even take off. As Canada tries to balance trade relationships and economic security, the decision could have long-term consequences for both consumers and manufacturers. Cricket fans, the wait is over. IPL 2025 is set to begin this weekend, featuring 74 matches across 13 cities, with defending champions Kolkata Knight Riders taking on Royal Challengers Bengaluru in the season opener. This year's IPL brings major changes, including new captains for 5 teams, big-name player transfers, and even coaching shakeups. The biggest surprise? MS Dhoni, who was retained by Chennai Super Kings for just 4 crore, leaving many fans wondering if this could be his last season. With rising viewership across the globe, IPL 2025 promises another action-packed season and will be bringing you all the latest updates as the tournament unfolds. And finally, a major political shakeup. Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to call a snap federal election this Sunday, with voting day possibly set for April 28th or May 5th. By calling an early election, Carney avoids facing a confidence vote in the House of Commons, where he currently doesn't hold a seat. Polling suggests the race will be extremely tight, with the Liberals and Conservatives locked in a virtual dead heat. Trump's trade policies and Canada's economic response are expected to dominate the campaign, making this one of the most high-stakes elections in recent memory. That's all for today's top stories. Thank you for joining us on the Daily Voice, presented by VNN. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you next time.